Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video. It's the start of a new series that I'm calling Tough Love with Love. So let's break it down. I wanted to call it tough love because it's something that I believe that we all need. We all need tough love. When we were younger, we had our parents to tell us no. They taught us what's right and what's wrong. They would reprimand us if we did something we weren't supposed to do. And eventually, after we heard no and we learned, we stopped doing the habit or the bad habit. And now we're adults and we probably don't have an adult or a parent telling us yes or no, or to do this or not to do this for every aspect of our life. I mean, maybe some of you do, but most of us probably don't. So we have to be the adults in our lives. We have to tell ourselves no. We have to reprimand ourselves. And to do that takes a little bit of tough love. So I wanted to start this series. And it's hard to reprimand yourself. It's hard to show yourself tough love. And it might not even seem fair. Like, we have to figure out all these things as an adult. We have to figure out where we want to live, where we're gonna start our next career, how to go grocery shopping without getting moldy kale in the fridge. That is like such a struggle for me. Grocery shopping correctly so I don't waste any vegetables. It's hard enough to figure out all that shit, and now we have to reprimand ourselves. It doesn't seem fair, right? It's not fair. But after thinking that and after hearing myself say that, I've decided to take "it's not fair" or "not fair" out of my personal vocabulary, because when you say it's not fair, it often means, not all the time, but often means that you're playing the victim card and you're not accepting responsibility for whatever it is that happened. Some situations truly are not fair, but oftentimes I feel like when we say that, it is something that is under our control, or at least "it's not fair" lies in a situation where we can learn from, and learning from our mistakes is the most important thing we can do. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you might be like, Rohini, I just want to watch you put on makeup and try on some clothes, and of course I'm still gonna do that, but this series is really important to me, and it's the start of a new chapter for me just as a person and my personal growth. In my heart, I always have known that there's something more that I could be doing and should be doing. I have this audience on YouTube that it's just crazy if you think about it. Like, getting 88,000 people inside of a stadium would be insane. Like, that is so many people. And obviously it's easy for me to be like, oh, I should be so much farther. Oh, I should have grown so much faster by now. But I'm just turning my focus now onto like, what value can I actually offer the audience that I already have, which is an amazing audience that I really do feel connected with. I feel very connected with you guys. I feel like if I can't make a difference with this amazing audience I've been given, then what the fuck is even the point of being on here, you know? Like, what is the point? I love makeup, I love skincare, I love all of that, but like, who says that I can't have glowy skin and have a cute lip on and then also help you guys become your best selves and drop some good advice and good shit to help propel you into the best person you can possibly be, you know? Why can't I do both? This idea has been brewing inside me for a while now. I just didn't really know it. Last year at about this exact same time, I did my Habits That Changed My Life video, and I just was really excited about it. I was very like passionate about it. I didn't really think it was going to do very well because, again, it's out of my normal realm of video ideas, but it actually is one of my most popular videos now. And when I read the comments, it looks like I actually helped some people, which is crazy to me. And that's what gives me, like, that's what makes my heart happy. Even on like my makeup videos or whatever, when someone comments and says like, this, just watching you talk or like listening to you talk helped soothe me after a really rough day, like, that is what makes me happy. Like, sure, I'm happy if you buy the lipstick and you like it or whatever, but like, when I know that I made a difference and just made your day better and helped you be better in some way, that's what makes me happy. It's not the lipstick, it's the people behind the lipstick, you know? Does that make sense? I am a firm believer that we are here to help. As humans, we're here to help. I think we're required, and we owe it to ourselves to do good in the world. I think we are required. If we're not doing good in the world and that's not our ultimate goal, then you got some fucked up priorities, my dude. Maybe that sounds cheesy, but I don't give a shit if it sounds cheesy. I believe that. I really do believe that. And I think we all know deep down that we want to leave the world a little bit better than when we found it, even if it's just a littlest bit, or if you had the tiniest impact. I think if we all look deep down, that is our ultimate goal, is to make a difference or to do something that you believe in the world. That's why we're here, am I right? So I'm starting this new series called Tough Love with Love. I want to drive home the point that this is for the best possible purpose. I really, really, really do care about you guys, and whenever I've gotten to meet you in person, it just has like driven home the point for me even further that I really do, like, I feel a connection with you guys, and I want you to know that I'm here to help you. And I just want you to know that if this advice or anything that I say is like a hard pill to swallow and you're like, ooh, ouch, Rahini, like, ouch, that hurt. It's coming from the best place possible. All of this is coming from a place of love, and all of this is meant with the purest of intentions, and I don't want you to take it as an attack or as something negative, because it's not. It's not. It's all meant from a place of love, okay? Okay. So the first episode in this series, and I probably won't be filming here every time, but that is what worked for today, so I'm just gonna roll with it. To kick off this series, I'm going to talk about something that is so, so important. So important. It is about loving yourself first. Yes, I know we've all read cheesy Pinterest quotes. We've all seen it on Pinterest. Every marketing company is using self-love as their expert ploy to get you to buy a face mask. Sure, face masks are an excellent way to show self-love and self-care, but when you're putting on the face mask and you're looking at yourself without makeup and you're thinking, oh, I look so ugly, like it's never gonna get better, my skin is shit. Is that really self-love? This is something I'm guilty of, by the way. That is thoughts that I have had very often in my own head. So putting a face mask on over self-hatred is just putting on a band-aid over the actual problem and the actual pain. And this is something that I'm working on. That's the whole reason I'm doing this fucking series, is because I'm working on this stuff and I want to share it with you, because I feel like I've been given some advice that people our age don't really have access to, and I just want to share it with you because it would be selfish if I didn't. So if we're putting on a band-aid over the wound instead of dealing with the actual problem, it's not helping anyone. If we don't work on ourselves, we can't help anyone else. That is so true. If we don't work on ourselves, we can't help anyone else. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you really let it sink in? Actually process what that means, okay? Just for a second, process it. It's the same concept, you've probably heard this before, but it's the same concept of when you're on the plane, the mom has to put on the oxygen mask on herself first before she can put it on her kid. Because if she passes out before she can put the mask on her kid, they're both screwed, like they're both gonna die. So obviously she has to put on her own mask first before she can help her son, who is everything in her life, you know? You have to help yourself first. You can't be a good friend if you're caught up in your own shit. You can't have a healthy relationship if you're not learning from your past mistakes in other relationships. You have to work on yourself first before you can be there for others. And that's something I feel like we don't always do, because it's so much easier to focus on other people and their problems than just address your own. It's so easy to do. I've done it so many times. I'm sure a lot of us have. But when we become conscious of it, it helps and it changes things. So I do love me some cheesy cliche quotes sometimes, if they actually have some value behind them, which this is one of my favorite ones. You can't pour from an empty cup. You've probably heard this because it's on like so many grandmas' little pillows and their little, what's it called, stitching? What's it called? Embroidery. Yeah, it's on their pillows and embroidery. It's so freaking true if you think about it. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can take that as deep or as shallow as you want. I like to go deep with it. You can't give your all in any area of your life if you have nothing to give. That's as simple as it gets. You can't be a good friend if you have nothing to spare. You have no love to spare for anyone else if you don't have love for yourself. Guys, this is cheesy, I know it is, but I don't really freaking care, okay? So just buckle on, eat the cheese with me, the vegan cheese, just get all up in there. We're getting cheesy. This makes sense, right? The concept makes a lot of sense, even though some of us don't want to admit it to ourselves that we have to focus on ourselves first. The general concept probably makes sense to you. So here are some tips that I believe in have really helped me, because I am a young lady. I am not an old woman, but I feel like I have learned a lot in the last couple years, and I have grown so much from my old self. Like, I am a different woman. I'm older and wiser. So here are some of my favorite tips on how you can start filling up your own cup, your own dang cup. Fill it with chamomile tea, fill it with some wine, fill it with LaCroix, whatever you need to fill your cup up with. Here are some tips to help. Okay, my first tip, Again, some of these you might have heard, but I don't care, I'm saying them again. Spend time alone, actually alone, no electronics, no cell phones in sight, just people vibing. So this is different for everyone. How this works for everyone is different for every person because everyone is unique. Meditate if you are someone who can meditate. I personally am not at that level where I can meditate successfully. Hopefully I will be one day. My preferred form of meditation is just going on a walk in nature. I feel like I'm the most connected to myself when I'm in nature, which I'm sure a lot of you agree with. Reading a book is another good way. I love to just have some silence in my mind, or writing. A lot of people like to journal, have a diary, whatever it is for you. You need to allow stillness to come in your mind, because that's when all of your like free thoughts and some of your best thoughts come when you have stillness in your mind. Like, that's why everyone has such good ideas in the shower, because you're usually not on your phone in the shower. You're usually not answering emails in the shower. Maybe you are, but like, dude, if you're answering emails in the shower, that's a whole nother problem. But you can be alone in your mind in the shower, so that's why you have such good ideas. This is something that's so important, and literally all of my bullet point tips go back to this. You need to be able to be comfortable in your own presence. You have to be comfortable with yourself. If you don't feel comfortable on your own, it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass later in life, because again, you can't pour from an empty cup. We have to be comfortable in our own presence before we can be comfortable in a room full of people, if that makes sense. You're not going to be your best self in a room full of people if you're not comfortable on your own. Now, being comfortable on your own and with your own presence is hard, because sometimes our minds have some dark ass thoughts. We have highs and lows, our minds go all over the place, and whatever the highs and the lows may entail, we are stuck with ourselves for our whole lives. There's only one you. You are stuck with yourself. So it's time to get to know yourself one-on-one. Does that sound scary or cheesy? Probably. But it's so fucking true. You know what? It really is. Self-love at its core is loving yourself. And if you can't be comfortable in your own presence, if you can't go on a walk or go to a cafe or go to a bookstore or just sit at home alone by yourself and feel good and feel comfortable, not feel like you need to call over people to come to you, it's gonna hold you back. It really is. And I think once you get to know yourself, you're gonna learn that you are pretty freaking great. So let's get to know ourselves, shall we? Here's something I learned recently, and I think it is such an amazing tip. So give yourself a SWOT analysis on the regular. We've probably all heard this from business school or whatever it may be, but strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. SWOT analysis. It works in all areas of life, not just business. I heard this from Magic Johnson actually when I just heard him speak. He is a very rich man. Not from basketball, but from his investments. So I would encourage you guys to look him up and read more about his life, because he's freaking rich and he's very successful. And he gives himself SWOT analyses on the regular, because it's so easy to just let life pass you by and let the obstacles and the failures and all that just not really acknowledge them. But when you're tuning in and saying, here's my strengths, here's my weaknesses, there's so much more power behind your actions. You don't have to actually do the SWOT thing. You don't have to write that out if that doesn't work for you, but something with a similar concept where you're really acknowledging your strengths and your weaknesses and your opportunities and threats. I mean, you maybe don't need to do that one if that doesn't work for you, but strengths, weaknesses, I think, are everything. And just to check in with yourself, because how often do we really do that? We're analyzing every other aspect of our life, but we're not analyzing ourselves. So do a SWOT analysis on the regular. And actually, I'm going to be doing this later with Sage. We're going to do a SWOT analysis on our relationship in front of the camera for one of these videos in this series. So you're going to learn lots of juicy tea, because we definitely have strengths and weaknesses in our relationship, as everyone does. So this whole concept brings me to my next bullet point, which is acknowledge your weaknesses. Why do you want to acknowledge your weaknesses? Because it's not really a weakness if you're aware of it. It's only weak if you continue to do it and not to acknowledge it. If you continue to do it and act like it doesn't exist, that means you're weak. If you lie a lot and you acknowledge it, you can stop yourself from doing it, you can work on it, you can improve, and then it doesn't become a weakness anymore. But if you lie and you just, like, you know you do it, but you just let it go on in the background, you lie, it's gonna come bite you in the ass. You're gonna lose friendships, it's gonna mess up relationships because you're not acknowledging it. You're not going to improve if you don't acknowledge it. There's something each of us can work on. There's a weakness in each of us, and I don't think it sounds so negative, but I just don't think it is. It's not a negative thing if you work on it and your goal is to improve. How can a weakness be a bad thing if your only goal is to make it a strength? Or at least not a weakness? You know? There are so many things that I consider a weakness for myself that I'm working on, and I am aware of them. And they won't be weaknesses for much longer because I am aware of them and I'm working on them. This is the wonderful thing. We are adaptable as humans. We make mistakes, we fuck up, and we learn and we grow. It's wonderful if you think about it. It's a wonderful thing to be a human because we can fuck up and we can learn from it and we can grow and we can get second chances and we can make mistakes and still advance as a human. It's pretty cool. And the wonderful thing is, this will save you so much, I think, heartache, honestly, because if you call out yourself on your bullshit before someone else does, that's gonna save you a lot of pain because it hurts 100 times worse when someone else calls you out on something that you know is true. But if you call yourself out on it, someone else won't have the opportunity to do it because you're working on yourself. If you say, oh yeah, I lie a lot, I really gotta work on that, and you work on it, you take the steps, or you even say, look, I lie a lot, I'm sorry, I'm working on it. Like, if you just call it out, it feels so much better than if your friend, your best friend says, you know what, you're a liar, like, I'm done with you, you lie too much. That's gonna hurt 1,000 times worse than you just calling yourself out. So acknowledge your weaknesses because they won't stay weaknesses for long if you work on them. This is one of my favorite ones. Listen to your gut. I believe in gut instincts very, very strongly. Your mind gets cluttered with so much bullshit. We have so many things going on about our day. We see so many things on our phone. We've learned things from parents, from society. Your mind gets all cluttered, but your gut just goes one way or another. It's either a good feeling or a bad feeling. If you have a gut instinct that your friend or a coworker or someone has bad intentions, listen to it. Listen to your gut. My next point is to say no. This is very much connected to listening to your gut. Say no, say no, say no. Get used to saying no. Someone who says yes to everything is going to get very burnt out sooner rather than later. And I want to clarify this so people don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Say yes to opportunities that will help you grow. Have yes be your first instinct. Be open to saying yes. That's not what I'm saying here. Be open to saying yes, but knowing when to say no and not being scared of saying no is so insanely valuable. Oh my god. Knowing how to say no and how to mean it and really be firm with it is a powerful freaking tool. When I learned to say no and started saying no to shit I didn't want to do, my mental health, my productivity, my happiness, everything got so much better. It improved so much because, bottom line, we don't feel good when we're in a situation we don't want to be in. When you're with a group of people who make you feel icky, you feel icky, and that sucks. If you had just said no and you had stayed home, you wouldn't be feeling icky. You would be comfortable in your bed, cozy up with your pajamas, having a lovely time. So you have to say no. But this is hard. This is a thing that you have to learn because FOMO, fear of missing out, is really real. It's hard to overcome FOMO. But this goes back to my other point. Once you're secure with yourself and you're happy in your own company, FOMO doesn't happen as much. FOMO happens a hell of a lot less when you're happy with yourself. This is a fun one. My next point, get your bullshit detector fine-tuned. Fine-tune your bullshit detector. Reading vibes is one of my favorite things to do, and it is very, very valuable. My bullshit detector is finely tuned. It has saved me from a ton of uncomfortable situations. In the influencer space, the bullshit runs thick, and I don't have any time for it. That's why I didn't go to a lot of things that I was invited to, because I just knew it was going to be a room full of fake shit, which I don't like. And that is also why I made some amazing friends within the influencer community, because I found people and I looked for people that had a similar mindset and were no bullshit. And those friends are some of my most valuable friendships in my life today because of it. To fine-tune your bullshit detector, you have to start listening to your gut. That initial instinct you have about a person is often right. Not all the time, because some people are shy, some people get uncomfortable in different environments. But whenever I've had a really, really strong, like not like a, oh, maybe they're fine, like a really like, oh no, like bad vibes, get away from this person. Whenever I've had feelings like that, it's always been true. It's always been correct. It's never proven me wrong. This is not to be mean. This maybe sounds harsh and mean. This is not to be mean, but it's just understanding. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone's growing at their own pace. Everyone's working on themselves and doing the best that they can. But it doesn't help anyone for you to match their bad vibes with phony ones. If you're being phony around someone you don't like hanging out with, it's both your faults. Like it's just as much your fault as theirs. Maybe they're the one who's being, I don't know, deceitful or lying, but you are also contributing by staying in this relationship or in this situation when you're not feeling it. It doesn't help. Matching bad vibes with phony ones does not help anything or anyone. You're only doing them a disservice by continuing to engage with them if you're not feeling it. If you don't vibe with someone, don't hang out with them. Simple as that. Protect your energy at all costs. This is so important. So important. Save your energy for situations and for people that make you feel good and alive and energized and happy. And when you go home, you feel good and you feel content and you feel supported and all of those things. Like, there's no time in this life to be with people who make you feel like shit and drain your energy. And this is hard, obviously. Some of you may be younger and maybe in high school and you're like, I can't get away from these people. And that is something that all of us struggle with. In high school, you have a limited opportunity of friends, but it will get better when you go to college or you move out. You're gonna meet more people and you're gonna meet people that really make you feel good. And just know that it's out there and you're not stuck with shitty friends who don't make you feel good, okay? So just know there's amazing people out there. So my last point, which may be the most important one of all, is to be kind with yourself. This may seem like the opposite direction of my other bullet points, but calling out your weaknesses, acknowledging them, learning from them, and improving is the ideal cycle. But you have to give yourself grace. If you give yourself grace and patience when you fuck up, it's everything. You need to speak kindly to yourself. Beating yourself up over and over and over and over is not productive. It just makes you feel like shit. So here's what you have to do. You have to call yourself out, say, ooh, I fucked up. Turn that shitty feeling into fuel to improve yourself. Again, this might seem cheesy, but again, I don't care. Pity parties aren't productive. Pity parties are the biggest waste of energy. Here's what I do. Throw yourself a full-blown pity party, like all out one night pity party. Get wasted on your own pity. I know it sounds stupid. If you need to get wasted on your own pity for one night, then do it. And then the next morning, get the fuck up and move on. Leave that pity party for last night. Move on. Move the fuck on. Move the fuck on. This might be my Aquarius talking, but move the fuck on. No pity hangovers here. None allowed. The funny thing about life is it's gonna keep on moving on without you. With or without you. It's gonna keep moving on. Time's gonna keep on going by. If you're stuck in the past, it prevents you from being present in the moment, and it prevents you from looking towards your goals and looking to the future because you're hanging on from some little thing you fucked up or something that someone did you wrong in the past. There is no point keeping energy over here. There's literally no point. When you can learn to move on and not hold on grudges from the past, doesn't mean you don't learn from them, but you don't hold grudges. You move on. Have grace for yourself. Know in the core of your being that every human makes mistakes. We all fuck up. We all fuck up. Your only choice, literally your only choice, if you think about it, is to move on. Because eventually, no matter how many years you hold a grudge, eventually you're gonna have to move on. So you might as well just do it now. Just move on now. Save yourself the time and the energy. Have grace with yourself, acknowledge your mistakes, and move the fuck on. We did it. Deep breath. Shake it off. That was some serious shit we just talked about, okay? It was. And I feel good. I feel good that I shared this with you guys. I hope you took notes. Just kidding, you don't have to take notes. But this video is always here if you need it, okay? It's always here. It's not going anywhere. That's the beauty of the internet. Unless for some reason YouTube takes it down. But I don't think they will because I am fully clothed. Like, I believe that so deep in the core of my being that we can all be amazing and do amazing things. So thank you so much for listening to this. You might be like, all right, shut up, lady. Time to go put on the new mascara. But that would be mean. So I hope you don't think that. Anyway, I'm on the road to becoming my best self. And I'm on the journey. I'm on the trek. And I want you guys to come on. So hop on the bandwagon. Hop aboard. Climb aboard. and let's do it together, because there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing you guys live your best lives. And yep, that's the truth. Okay, love you guys so much. I hope you take all of this in and know again that all this is coming from a good place. And there are a lot of things people can say, a lot of shit people can talk about this video, but I'm not gonna let that get to me. And I hope that you guys really take this in. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on the gram, and I'm pretty sure my life advice will be mostly reserved to YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed here, because Instagram's about pretty photos and clothes and makeup, and YouTube is about where shit gets real, okay? Okay. Also, please comment any advice or anything, many mantras that have helped you guys learn and grow and leave things in the past, because again, we all have shit. We all have shit. Every single person goes through shit. That's just life. And so if we can learn to move on from it and learn, that's everything. That's everything, okay? Love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!